Another great Sunday is here, and I joyfully welcome you to another exciting edition of Christian Connect on ETV Ghana. Jeremiah 31 verse 25 says, "For I satisfy the thirsty person, and I feed all those who are weak." May the gracious Lord satisfy you with good things and feed you with good things. My name is Paul Anamakodie, and I am happy to welcome you again to Christian Connect. Let me say thank you to Osasio Fashion for providing my outfit. You can always check out some of the beautiful designs Osasio Fashion has on Facebook and on Instagram. Or you can give them a call on 0243 663 884. Osasio Fashion says, style your occasion. And indeed, today we are going to talk about one important occasion. And I believe that a lot of you and a lot of people are saying things are hard, things are hard. And yet you just finished celebrating Valentine's Day. Maybe you've been promised that, oh, I'm going to get married to you. Or you're also asking, get married to me. But someone says, you know things are hard, so you have to wait. So how do you organize a wedding in a cost-effective way? Today on Christian Connect, we are looking at organizing a wedding in a challenging economy. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I'll introduce to you my guest for today. This is Christian Connect on ETV Ghana, and today we are talking about organizing a wedding in a challenging economy. And of course, we'll be telling you all that you need to know about weddings. And if you are planning for one, it will be very important for you to stay with us. And to help us do that today is an associate pastor or minister with the Prisons Church Cantonment. Yes, Prison Church Cantonment, and he's in the person of Reverend Seth Ban Ajikum. Reverend, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, great. And then also to help us do that is an event planner, and she's in the person of Priscilla Kwame. Priscilla, you are welcome.
Thank you.
And she's the team lead for Planner Extraordinaire. Let me start with you. Since you have been organizing weddings and other events, how is it going? Are people getting married these days?
Yes, people are getting married. It all depends on you and the type of wedding you would like to have. And so people are getting married, and as this is a Christian show, I believe, I would say that as Christians, we are at liberty to do everything and anything, but not all is beneficial to us. And so if, as a Christian, you choose to get married in these times, there are ways in which you can plan and have a very decent wedding that will be beneficial to both you and your partner.
Wow, that's wonderful and very encouraging. So nobody should be scared if at this time we
No.
want to organize a wedding. So then if you say, oh, you can have a very decent and good one, estimatedly, how much are you looking at?
Okay, so if we are going to do numbers, it will boil down to a certain number of things. The first being the number of people you are inviting, because that's one of the things that actually brings cost to you at your wedding. If I'm having a wedding and I would first have to do the traditional. Can I have it such that it's my family and my partner's family and a few friends, or maybe church elders or church people coming to do the traditional? So the number is restrained to, let's say, a 50. The church wedding as well, we have, let's say, 100. So I'm catering for 150. I need to consider the rings that will be bought, the clothes that will be worn, hair, makeup, photography, videography, all these things. You can look around at 20,000. But there's a way to beat down cost so that you would have this beautiful ceremony and enjoy your marriage.
20,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Wow. I'll go to Reverend very soon, because you mentioned about it depends on the type of wedding you want and all those things. So do we have different types of weddings?
There's, as Christians, there's one. And before you do the, I'll say two. So there's a traditional marriage which the church endorses. So you can have just that, and then you sign at the court. It's a wedding. You've gotten married. You've met all requirements. And then there's the church wedding, which most young people, young ladies would want to have because they've dreamt about it, they've read, they've seen pictures, and they really want it. They want to wear the white dress, flowing. Yes. So that's also there. And so when it comes to weddings, I would say there's the traditional, which the church endorses actually. And then there's the church wedding, where you bring your marriage before God's altar for the blessing to be done.
Yes, I will come back to you for more since you are into that space. And Reverend, you have also been blessing marriages here and there. I don't know your end, whether it's also the same. Many people are getting married, young men and women are just trooping in, bless my marriage for me and all that.
Yes, people are getting married, regardless the economic situation that we have and all the things surrounding us. But people are getting married. Almost every weekend there's a wedding.
What have you heard from those couples in terms of the organization and maybe how hard the economy is, as everybody say?
You know, as the planner said, it depends on the couple, the kind of wedding that they want to have. Some of them want to have a wedding where they will just do the traditional marriage, and then they go to the court, or sometimes the marriage certificate is signed in the minister's office. They come with few family and friends, and then the wedding is over.
I can imagine somebody who is a music minister in your church, for example, and the person wants to have a wedding. Surely the person will be expecting lots of church members to attend, as well as friends who are outside the church. How do they deal with that? Or you can still have this small one, as you said?
Well, when it comes to that, it depends also on the couple. Now, a musician in the church can decide that, well, I will do a very simple, cost-effective wedding. And so I will do the traditional marriage on maybe Friday, and then, or maybe on Saturday. And then Sunday we have the blessing, which comes to the church. And then all the family will be there, the church members will be there, and the wedding goes on. So it depends on who are doing the wedding.
Wow. Priscilla, what is the most expensive thing when it comes to weddings?
Okay, so it all boils down back to the couple. You decide what would be the most expensive thing. For some, they would put priority on their wedding bands, the rings that they are going to wear. So they would channel at most 80% or 70% of their resource into getting a big diamond or a 24 karat gold ring to wear. So it depends on the couple. For some, it's decor. Some will channel a lot of resource into the decor that is done. For some, it will be food. So depending on the couple, for some it will be clothes, what they are wearing. They want the topmost designers to do their gown. They want the topmost designers to design their suits. And so it depends on the couple. As a couple, you decide where you're channeling most of your finances into.
Very interesting. So, all the things that you mentioned, I mean, you mentioned a lot of things. So, somebody might not even be thinking about those things. So, would you necessarily need a wedding planner?
Okay, so having a wedding planner eases some of the stress you have in executing that day, because when you have somebody guiding you and helping you make sure that you have everything you need to make the day successful, because you might actually forget some things. But if you have a wedding planner that's helping you, okay, so once we've decided to get married and we go to a wedding planner, the person would find out, have you started counseling? Which counselors are you going with? Now we get to venue. Which venue are you having your wedding? Is it going to be at church? Also the engagement, where are you having it? can the numbers you are looking at, can it set those people? Your reception, then your clothes, what you are wearing, who is producing what for you, your bridesmaids, if you would have bridesmaids, who is making sure that their dresses are ready, their makeup, hair. So when you have a wedding planner, caterers, sometimes dealing with external vendors is difficult, and it's your day. You'll be seated. We can't keep coming to you at every second and ask, the food is not in, who do we talk to? There's no water, there's no drinks. It will be hard to communicate and do that. So when you have a wedding planner help you produce your day as you want it, then you are both satisfied, because the planner would make sure that everything is done perfectly, so you have a smooth and beautiful ceremony.
Wow. Reverend, as a minister, do you mind where couples decide to have their weddings? I mean, if the place is registered, if your church member wants it to be done at a hotel or at an event center or at a beach, doesn't matter.
Yes, it matters when it comes to the law, because the law says, number one, the venue must be registered for wedding, and then number two, the minister that is officiating the marriage must also be recognized by the state as a marriage minister. And so we look at the venue, even though the couple can decide that this is where we want to do the wedding, but we as ministers will try to find out whether that is a registered place for them to do the wedding, so that the marriage will not be null and void when something happens and is taken to court.
If somebody is planning of his or her wedding, what will you think? What will you say the person should think about first?
Well, that is the cost. The first thing you think about is the cost, because the Bible says in Luke chapter 14, it tells us that who will build a tower and will not sit down to look at the cost, and probably after finishing the foundation, he will not be able to do it. So you must look at the cost first, how much you need for the wedding, and then you plan around the money that you have.
I see. So you really want to get married to this person, and yet because you've not gotten that money, what should you do? You should keep waiting, right?
Well, it's not a matter of keep waiting. It's a matter of planning and moving slowly towards the day that you want to have the wedding. And so whilst you are planning also involves finances. And so when you look at the cost and you think that you can do the wedding at a certain time of the year, you do it. But when the money is not there, like the sister said when she was saying, he said, when there's no water, who do we talk to? And remember, Jesus went to a wedding and there was a disappointment and there was a disgrace, that the wine got short. And then Jesus had to be called on to come and do a miracle there for them to get the wine. So you must plan and go according to God's own plan for you.
But when it happens like that, the ministers are unable to do such miracles.
Yeah.
For example, if there's no water, you can't.
There's no miracle to bring the water. So you must plan and plan well.
Wow. Wow. This is Christian Connect on ETV Ghana, and today we are looking at weddings. And in fact, if you know somebody planning a wedding, you can let the person tune in, because we want to look at how you can organize it, even when things are hard, or even when people are saying things are hard. So now we said that you should look at the cost of the wedding, and also looking at maybe somebody who will help you, like event planner. Are there ways you as a minister that people can do the wedding in such a way that it doesn't cost them that much?
Yes, during the counseling time, there are models that are taken during the counseling time, and one of them is finance. And so the minister will advise you on your finance, or how to plan to be able to have a very wonderful and a beautiful wedding without spending much money. And so it is the duty of the minister or the head of your church to give you advice during your counseling on how to plan the wedding. So we are concerned about finances when it comes to wedding.
Can you go for a loan for it?
That is not an advice that we give to anybody. That is why you need to sit down and plan. Because before we started, we were chatting, and I mentioned to you that after the wedding, and if the wife is only in the house, and a money lender comes to knock at the door and say that your husband came to take a loan from me for your wedding, he has not paid, there will be chaos in the house. So I don't think that you need a loan to have a wedding. That is why you must cut your coat according to your size. You and your family can decide on really what kind of wedding you want to do, so that you look at the cost and not go and borrow money.
That's very interesting. Priscilla, you see, there are people who do very huge weddings here and there. Do you think that is what people look at in terms of organizing weddings that makes their weddings expensive?
That's a yes. So because of the times we are in now, social media and the trends. So people want to trend. Oh, I saw my friend get married, and there was a lot of people. It was held at, I don't want to mention venues, at a particular place. I would want to have mine there. But you know deep within that you can't afford it. And like Daddy rightfully said, we wouldn't advise anybody to take a loan to have a wedding. Let's cut our coats according to our size. And so social media is a huge contributing factor to why people want to have weddings as big as they see. And so, yeah, societal pressure. So my sister or my brother had a big wedding, and so I must also have a big wedding. So sometimes the pressure can even be from within the family. And then also the social media, and then normal peer pressure.
Normal peer pressure, I like that. But you as an organizer, do you think that it's usually the men or the women who wants that glamour?
It could be either ways. You might meet a couple that the male is reserved, would want something very simple, but the lady wants to go all out because she wants her friend to see that, yeah, she's arrived. But there are others too that the ladies are quiet. They actually don't want all the pomp and pageantry. They want something simple. And the men actually want to do the show. They want people to see that them day, like, yeah. So it could be either ways. So it was not a male thing or a female thing. It depends on the couple. One of them, there's always one personality that wants things done in a particular way.
Wow. Reverend, I know that some churches usually organize mass weddings here and there. Do you think it's a solution to the huge cost associated with weddings?
Well, I think that it depends on how society sees mass wedding. You know, it's not, it helps for cutting down costs, and then it also helps for planning and organizing weddings. But how does society sees mass wedding? That is another issue that we need to deal with.
But briefly, how do they see it?
I just before the program, I had a chat in the at a place, and some of the ladies were telling me, no, as for me, I won't go for mass wedding. I want to go alone because I want people to see me. But you see, the mass wedding is something that helps. You see, because the contribution of each of the couple for the refreshment, the contribution for maybe the venue, so the contribution will help the couples to be able to cut down costs, but they will enjoy their wedding and their reception.
Meanwhile, when you go home, it has no other effect on the marriage.
Nothing. Yes.
Wow. This is Christian Connect. I think on Valentine's Day, Happy FM organized a mass wedding. I think it was so amazing. I don't know, Director, if we have it there and we can take people's opinion on this.
Me who say mass wedding na ye. And me ni me kun kan na ye dwene ho say. Yemfa ye ho nkoshem. ɛbɛboa yɛ ho bɛdwo yɛn planning no kra anya asɛm ketwa nanso ɔmbɛ plan ama yɛ edu hɔ so ɔmbɛ bibi afɛfɛ enti ehu sɛ ɛbɛma yɛ asomadwo yɛn yɛsika asɛm so bɛ ho bɛdwo no enti yɛ adwen sɛ yɛbɛyɛ mass wedding enti ne yɛkɔyɛ mass wedding.
I ought to do this mass wedding because it saved a lot of cost. Because of course, even if I do have a lot of money, I will still join this mass wedding because it saves all costs. It's so affordable, and if you see around, if you check around, there's a lot of staffs and they have spent a lot of money to do all kind of stuff and do a setup. So looking at all these things, and if anybody sees this, anybody will join. Because no matter how much money you have, you'll be feeling to join this. It's so amazing.
Uhwe sika obi ye wedding obese no. Uhwe ka na even kra na ebe ye kra obe organize. Eno nko akra nya de ketwa. Ba uhwe se ne Happy FM. Na omo ankasa etumi de ato omo ho eboa awarefo. Ena aware ene asetena no no edin. Obi wo ho no nya obe ya yefro ni bi. Sika wo hefa. Happy FM for ye damase bebre. Sa mutumi de sadie baye. Amen na aboa awarefo bebre. Sika omo bese de akoyi ye sa ne ma wei. So omo e de ses ka ne to de ya de fofra me gidi se beboa ma busua na ye fe.
My idea on mass wedding is, I think it's good because looking at the current crisis we are facing financially, it helps also. And then the couples too, I'm quite sure they are very happy because the finances compared to solo wedding, some cannot afford. But this mass wedding helps a lot, and then it helps their shyness too. Some couples are very, very extra shy, but the masses also helps in at least regaining their confidence.
A mass wedding it cuts costs, and you come in to make friends, you see other people. It's like you have a group. So maybe in case of anything, you can do contribution, party, you have other places to go. So the money that left behind, you can use it for something. To start business. Even you are building projects, you can use that money to continue.
This mass wedding is fine because young guys say, women who draw for your marriage na honey bad draw closer because it cost or cost. Eneba honey what ye na kan tolega de we thinking e fine wa e han wo hin pa what your neken shyness ne what your e mean you na ke e hin wa.
It's true. If I have the money, and if it's still as I'm standing here, the money that I have it. But if I look at the money that I will spend, and I go to house and they be suffering, it's better I've done this, and the rest of the money I can use to do any business, or if any project I wanted to start for, I can use the rest of the money to do it. So it doesn't matter what or the any amount that I used to do this wedding, because I know what I'm looking for.
The mass wedding, it reduces costs. Yeah, talking of some other things that you are going to waste money and other stuffs. So maybe you waste money more on your engagement, but talking of the wedding, you waste less on it. So I would advise everyone to take the mass wedding, choose the mass wedding.
Doing mass wedding, it's okay and it's more appropriate than doing solo wedding because it cuts costs and it puts you fit into what you want to do in your future. Doing mass wedding, it's good. To my thought, it's good. It's a very good thing.
I think mass wedding, it cuts down costs, very affordable, although it's not too flashy. But I think it's very affordable and it cuts down costs. And then I think you using all your money on a flashy wedding, it's not so cool. Because maybe after a wedding, you eat, you raise family. And like doing this mass wedding, it will put down some interest down and then use it to take care of your family. You maybe some of the brides or the grooms will go to school. Some of them have businesses. They'll use the rest of the money to push their businesses. So I think mass wedding is good.
This is Christian Connect on ETV Ghana, and today we are looking at organizing a wedding in a challenging economy, and we are looking at it. We've so far talked about the fact that you can do this cost-effective way without stressing yourself so much. So let me come to you, Mrs. Priscilla Kwame. How long does it take to organize a wedding?
Sorry. So it can take as long as a year to plan a wedding, depending on the dates the couple selects. Some can do 6 months, some 3 months, some even a month. So depending on when the couple agree and contacts a planner, it will be planned and executed.
So the year, is it you, the planner, who looks for the vendors for them, or they come out with their vendors themselves?
Okay, so with regards to planning a wedding, there are times that the planner would help you with a vendor selection. There are some couple too that would already have some vendors that they would want to work with. So they would share with you the planner, and then together you would work with these vendors to make sure that the day goes well.
On organizing a wedding, I know we've mentioned a number of things that you have to take into consideration, even the makeup and the hair and other stuff. So choosing all these things, what must go into it?
Okay, so choosing a makeup artist or a hair stylist for your wedding, it all depends on you. There are many vendors available now. There are some that are highly priced. There are some that are moderately priced, and there are some that are okay, or if I can say low. So there's a vendor for each type you'd want. If you want a very expensive vendor for hair, you would get. If you want one that's very moderately priced that would fit into your budget, you'd get. What tends to happen is, like we mentioned earlier, people want to trend, and so they wouldn't consider an up-and-coming makeup artist or hairstylist. They want the known brands, and because these people have built their brands over time, now they are pricey. But as a young couple or lady, if you are going to get married, and you're even sometimes your area hairstylist or salon you visit, some of these people know how to style hair nicely. There are friends that you can get that can do your makeup, or even if you know how to do makeup yourself. There's a lady that's gone viral recently. On her wedding day, she did her own hair, she did her own makeup, and it came out nicely. It's not always that you need people to do these things for you if you know how to do it, or you have a friend that can do it and you would give a token than to pay so much for, because you can pay as much as 5,000 cedis for makeup. You can equally pay as low as 500, 800 for makeup. It's all within your choice as a couple. And there are times that when we are going out, maybe I'm going for a wedding or something, you go into a makeup shop and get your makeup done. Some of these people charge from 80 to 120 Ghana cedis or 200. These people can equally do your wedding makeup and you would look nice. But we all want the brands, and so we pay for it. So it all depends on you. I will boil it down to the couple. Whatever you choose is what will work for you.
Wow. Reverend, I think, I don't know, maybe because maybe it's been, I don't know how long you have been married or not, but some of these things may not come to your attention. But would you say that these things are necessary so far as the wedding is concerned?
Well, like the planner said, it depends on the couple. I know that my daughter, when she was marrying about 6 years ago,
wow,
we had my sister's in-law doing her makeup. And if I happen to show you some of the pictures, you will marvel. So it depends on what you want and the kind of vendor that you want to go. But all the same, all these things the ministers advise on making a choice. So that depends also on you as a couple. I can advise you, but you have to make the decision.
Indeed, you have to make the choice whether you want to go that way or not when you have others ready to help you. But in terms of the ring also, is it a requirement? I'm talking to Reverend.
Yeah, you
for
see,
example.
yeah, it becomes a token for the love that you have for the person. If you look at when the vows are being exchanged, the minister that is doing the vows will say that, say this after me, I give you this ring as a token of my love. So we also have to consider the kind of rings that you want. The planner also mentioned that and said that some of them are looking for the diamond that they will put on the ring. Some of them also want to wear an expensive ring that when their friend sees their left hand, they will make a very good comment on it. But all boils up to the way you plan things and then do a wedding. People normally don't look at the rings when they come to the wedding. They watch what happens around it, and so you can decide what kind of ring you want to wear and the price.
But talking about the ring, so I was asking, so as a Christian, is this biblical? Is this something we know? Should it necessarily be there, or we can take some of these things out so that it will be easy for people?
Yeah, I know some churches don't wear rings. I don't want to mention churches' name, but I believe that you the church can also advise them not to wear ring. I am not wearing ring, but I'm married.
But maybe because you got married and you got spoiled. Yes, because I know that Rebecca, for example, when the slave of Abraham, or was it Abraham? When we were sent to get
Abraham's servant.
Isaac, servant. He gave her some rings and all those things. But all these things about the wedding dresses and all those things, I don't know whether, for example, if I should wear my ordinary dress that I think I'm looking okay, that I wear to church, and I come, will it matter to the ministers?
Well, Paul, you see, the challenge that we have as Christians is that, or as Africans, is that we copy. And then when we are copying we go to the extreme. You know, the white gowns are from Europe, and we have our traditional wear. If you look at the Tuesday wedding that happened, the couples were in their traditional wear, and it was so beautiful and so wonderful. And so we have made it the way it is. And I believe that we need to rethink and maybe go back to the culture that we belong. You can put on a kente, a nice kente cloth, and come and have your wedding. And that doesn't take away the flavor of the wedding. And then the next thing is that, Paul, people talk about engagement, and that particular thing also need to be looked at. We don't have engagement when people are married. We have the traditional marriage. And you agree with me that the engagement is when you have proposed to the woman and the woman have agreed. And that one can be broken. At a point in time, it can be broken. That is where the broken heart comes. You know, and so, but
is that what we still call the knocking or something?
No.
Is that the engagement stage?
The engagement is when I have met, let's say, the planner, met the husband. And then the man approached her and said, yes, I agree. And sometimes they put some small ring for people to.
Is that what they call the promise ring?
Yes, you know, and so we bring in things that are not part of our culture, which we must also look at. Because when somebody tells me that he's going to an engagement, the first question I ask is, what kind of engagement? What are you talking about? The person is going to a traditional marriage. You know, so we must also look at those things, and the attire that you are going to put on. It depends on the couple. Because sometimes they want to go to a vendor that when they bring the a dress, and you ask for the price, it's about 20,000 Ghana cedi.
Wow.
So it depends on the couple.
And talking about a traditional wedding, is it not enough? I'm looking at the churches, the various churches. Is it not enough that if somebody has done a traditional wedding, it is accepted, and so the church also accepts it, and so that there wouldn't be the need for these weddings, or what people call white wedding or church wedding?
Yeah, the church accepts traditional wedding, and the law even recognizes traditional wedding.
Yes.
But like I said, it is the couple that want to go the European way, and in actual fact, the real marriage is the traditional marriage, where the two families will come together, and then the gifts are exchanged, and then the marriage is done. That is when people will begin to think about, after this, what next? You know, and then it becomes a challenge. Oh, Akosia did this, Kwadwo did, so we must also go the way. No, I actually, if it were not that I was a minister of the gospel, I think that I would have done the traditional wedding and let it be.
Oh, okay. This is Christian Connect on ETV Ghana. Let's check on our fact file and we'll be back.
The love story.